Hey, please bear with me. I'm going to have to read off um, my notes because I'll lose track of what I'm saying. So, many of you know I got Lyme, Bartonella, and Babesia in 2011. Bad cracks and set things off in 2012, causing blindness. It was temporary. I didn't go completely blind for like 2 years. I would have like spells of it. So I would just lose my vision for periods of time. I don't know how long, I really don't remember. My brain was so um, out of it and tortured that it was kind of like I didn't even realize I was going blind or didn't even really care because the brain stuff was so severe. And doctors could only guess why. Some said it was directly from the head trauma from the accident. Others said it stirred up the infections. Sorry, my reading is not that good either. So we'll see if I can make it through this. It's not too long. I was recently told it could be caused by microglia activation, which is another topic. I developed daily seizures, paralysis. Again, it wasn't like the first 2 years straight. I would just have like my arms or my legs. I just couldn't use them for periods of time. Where did I leave off? The first 2 years were like the absolute worst. I didn't know what my dog was. I just knew to crawl around him. Horrible pain, which wasn't just muscular, but felt like hundreds or thousands of burning hot needles like through my chest. It felt like something just stabbing me through the chest. Sorry, I can't even figure out where I just left off. I felt like my organs were being pulled out. I was completely detached from everything. I had to be carried to the bathroom who knows how many times. Most of the time I could only stare out a window and beg for death or think of how I could end my life. I was like extremely suicidal for like those first couple of years. And it wasn't like depression stuff. It was like the brain torture I've talked about a lot of times. It's like something took over my brain and like all these sensations were hitting me, and all I could think about was death. It was a nightmare. That lasted for a long time. And how I didn't take action is beyond me. Because like I said, I completely obsessed over it. Anyway, where did I leave off? I keep doing this. Okay, so during this time I went through all my savings. I went through other people's savings pretty much, or like a lot of people helped me out and couldn't help out anymore because it was very expensive. Like all this treatment is very expensive. One of the first doctors I saw, I had a PICC line from my arm to my heart for IV antibiotics for 9 months. I did IVs almost daily until I couldn't afford it anymore. All this stuff is out of pocket because mainstream medicine won't cover these things, especially when you're like this bad off and they just don't even know what to do with you. They just try to slap a band-aid on it or tell you have anxiety even when you're collapsing on the floor. That's actually happened to me before. I tried herbal protocols during this time, addressed genetics, which that's another factor that plays into this. It's like detox pathways and stuff like that. I tried various other things during this time. Let's see, I sold my car, which I couldn't drive anymore anyway. I gave up my apartment. I had to stay with a few people who were kind enough to let me stay with them. I mean, I was a nutcase, so I was quite a burden. Meanwhile, I was waiting for disability for 3 years, which is insane. In 2015, I was reinfected. This time, Rocky Mountain spotted fever and ehrlichia. Hospitalized for 2 weeks, the white blood count around 1, blood pressure bottoming out to the point they were shaking me to make sure I was like not leaving them, basically. All sorts of symptoms, fever 103, more crazy pain everywhere, stuff like that. I was pretty lucky that the hospital figured that one out. Didn't really know how I got reinfected because all I did was lay in bed And then I found out my dog had the same 2 co-infections. My eyes are bouncing around. I'm having a hard time following, and I just wrote this stuff too. So I should know what I just said. So I'm assuming my dog brought in those 2 infections, and that's the only thing I can come up with. I decided to try new things like IV ozone. That helped for a few hours after each session. It was short-lived though. I did things like bee venom therapy, which also helped for a while. Then had severe side effects, and I had to stop. At some point, I had discovered mold. A doctor, probably around, I don't even know, maybe 5 years ago or so, brought it to my attention. I didn't know why she was talking about mold. And come to find out I'd basically been poisoned. And I do have a gene where it doesn't allow me to detox mold properly. So my doctor was explaining, and ever since then people have discovered this, that Lyme and mold do go hand in hand, and so if Lyme treatment isn't working, likely the mold's a problem. My lab showed I have mold, even urine. So I went down that path. I did the entire Shoemaker protocol, but I wasn't out of mold, which is the first step. So that was a waste of a lot of time and a lot of money. And then something else I wanted to bring up was, another reason money is so tight is not obviously because I can't really bring in money, but disability. There's no way I'd be able to work a regular job. No way. I've looked and tried to figure things out that I could do, and it's just not going to happen right now. But disability is such a small amount, it wouldn't cover rent, so money's extremely tight because of that. But also, I had to start fresh, basically out of desperation when I found out about mold and everything and didn't get out of the environment. And people were saying that's what you need to do, so I did that. I got rid of all my belongings and had to start fresh. Because all the clothing and everything had basically black mold in it, or any kind of mold, but in my case, I was around black mold. So that obviously wasn't cheap. I had to replace items slowly, even if that meant sleeping on an air mattress for a while and buying 1 or 2 outfits for a while. So for the past year, I've been having to build things back up and buy things that most people have in their homes.